All right, boys and girls, we're gonna try this out. Get back to my vlogging roots here. Take you along. I tried to do it before, but then I couldn't finish. So, take you along to another farm BS day of doing chores and getting things ready for the rut. So, um, let's get you clued into like where we are so far, I guess. So I think I've had like 3 sits. I've had good sits. One sit with a target buck. One sit, which was just kind of whatever, not a whole lot going on. One of those days where you sit and you're like, why am I even here? And then my last sit, which was a few days ago, um, where I went in, hung a set as I walked in. I was kind of in the middle of a triangle between 3 scrapes. And I was basically sitting south of where I thought they were coming based on the wind. And I was like right in the middle of everything. So I had 6 doe. 6 different doe came in and around. Had some like little bucks running around grunting, checking stuff. And then that was basically it. So I kind of like the general area of where I hung that stand, but I don't think it's really refined. I don't think it's exactly where it needs to be. So I've got Tyson from Easton and I have Stu, SG Holmes, which you guys all know. They're coming in Wednesday. So what I'm doing now is I'm basically going to do a once over on the farm, make sure like the ladders are good and secure, everything's set, there's tethers and everything, and move the mobile set that I hung up and I didn't take down because I thought it might be good. I'm going to take it down so that Stu has a mobile setup. I got a mobile setup back here, and I want to check the north end of the property. That is basically all I'm doing, so I'll take you along. Got to stop off. I got to get gas. Obviously, got to get an energy drink. So just going to be kind of a day in the life type of video here. And just getting, like I said, getting back to the roots and kind of creating stuff that I think was the whole point of me kind of getting into it. I don't know, 2.5 years ago or whatever it is now. And yeah, I'm like really pumped to kind of see what I can make with this stuff. You know, bringing camera arms in the woods is not something that I've ever done, and I've got one in the pack right now. Um, you know, bringing a vlog setup into the truck was never something that I did. I always pretty much ran around with people, and so I think this is going to be cool because it gives me more opportunities to talk to you guys, key you guys in on what's going on. I'm able to do a little bit longer stuff than what's in Instagram. So I think all of it's pretty cool. And when I put that Q&A out on Instagram, quite a few people were asking for the vlogs back. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. I think it does take more effort to do some of the vlog stuff because you just have to have your camera on you at all times, but it's really good for me. Because 9 times out of 10, I have my camera and I'm just not bringing it out. So it'll hopefully be something that kind of makes me want to bring it out. But I'm super pumped about the rut kicking off or pre-rut kicking off. Super pumped to have Stu back. Really excited that Tyson's coming this year. And then, yeah, man, I got a target list out. It's just going to be one of those things like this property. It's hard to explain, but this property is one of those properties. It's like there's nothing there in nature that really forces travel patterns. There's a couple funnels. There's one like major draw and into one of the main fields, and that's basically it. It's traditional big timber hunting, and if any of you guys have done that, you know how it is. You're gonna be, you're gonna make an intelligent decision based on the sign, and then you're gonna be just not exactly where you want to be, and you're gonna fine tune that over a couple sits and hopefully get lucky. But it's all, it's a lot of right place, right time, with the knowledge, with the scouting, with the intelligent decisions. And if I've learned that, it's already been into the early season in this year so far. So we're getting it done. But it's this kind of stuff. It takes this kind of stuff to refine that out. So, you know, rarely are you lucky. I got lucky last year where you hang a set in the middle of the day and then you go hunt that set, you kill your target buck. It happens, but sometimes it doesn't happen, and I'm in the doesn't happen part of it right now. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna keep you guys alongside me, and yeah, wish me luck.
Please scan your iSheets card now. Select payment type. Insert card. Information needed. Thank you for shopping at Sheets.
Oh, no problem.
A lot of trouble, actually.
Way too bright. All right, well, we're gonna sit right here for a second. Sweet, so we made it. I'm gonna unpack. See if this works. Yeah, there we go. That's still super bright. Awesome. It's like pretty crazy to think that I can't expose correctly after all these years. Well, good as we got it, I guess. All right, so I'm here. I'm at the farm. I'm gonna take you guys along. We'll load up the Kubota. I'm gonna go over to where I have the mobile set up. I'm gonna take that down. I'm gonna go check the north corner in case there's a wind change next week, which there's definitely probably gonna be some crazy wind that we can hunt that north side. And that's pretty much it. So keep you guys rolling. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Some raccoon jabbed my camera yesterday, so it's facing the ground over where me and Stu sat last year, so I gotta go fix that too. So we're just gonna kind of do an all-around little loop of the place and make sure everything's good, because I'm getting curveballs like days before people show up to this property, so I want to make sure everything's good to go. Good to go. Blah.
So this is a spot. I named it last year with Stu, Novik's Road. There is a lot of traffic on this road. There's a triangle of scrapes over here. I just passed the car. And I need to fix this camera and get out of here. Stand over there, so that's a new rod, new scrape. Just moving the camera a little bit from where I was before. Looks like the scrape that we had before was, they let go of it, but there's a ton through here, so I think we may move that stand back this direction. So I just want to see kind of where they're coming and where they're going. Also, whose scrape that is, because I've been like one step behind these big body 10s that are back here. We'll see.
So much in the air.
So I just got the Noviks down, and I'm gonna go pack it up and save it for when these guys come. Obviously, wear your harness, do your thing. I brought my lineman's rope and completely forgot my carabiner, so don't do that. But yeah, that thing's up and down in 5 minutes, so no big deal. On to the next. Okay, give you guys a rundown. I've been doing a little bit more. This is the problem. When you're ADD and you get out here and you see the biggest scrape on the property, you immediately go harvest a camera that isn't producing shit to go throw on that scrape. So I was on one side of the farm, hauled ass to the other side of the farm, put a camera on that scrape, marked it on X. So we're good there. Now, so we got the mobile stand. Now, I'm on the north end of the property. Like you guys can see, like basically north of that telephone pole, her property ends. But for 2 years in a row, I would sit like inside there, and I would see this buck. He'd come from West Side Bedding, and he'd loop this area. He'd cut in here, and he'd go in back there. And there's a really nice stand my father-in-law always used to hunt it there. So basically what I'm gonna do is try to do some light scouting before those guys get here and figure out where in there is the best for north of where I was all those other years. Definitely west over there is a honey hole. It's just super thick briars and stuff, and there's no access in right now. So I might on foot it. It just depends on how much time this takes just to check out over here. So I'll take you guys along with me. But so far that's where we're at and what we've been doing. So stay tuned. So that river perimeters 3 sides of this farm. So I just want to go in a little bit and see what I can find, and I'm gonna hit the east side of the northeast side of that power line and just see what we can find. This stuff is so thick. I just kind of want to get a rough idea of where they're coming from. I don't really need to go deep in that stuff. But this is like a buck's paradise in here. So I think I'm gonna back out. I marked it on Onyx at a K here, so that's cool. So I guess theoretically if they're bedding over there and they're using this route, now I need to find what's on the other side of the power line and either hang there or hang somewhere on their way out of this. Alright, let's go.
So that was the most insane whitetail scouting experience I've had in my whole life. So I don't know if the footage came out. I'm using a wider lens and I could have used something a little bit longer for that. But I just walked into, I was scouting up a rub line and there was this big scrape, huge scrape. So I stopped on this big scrape and I heard the wind was in my face and I heard some stepping, some cracking, and I look about 30 yards in. There were 2 does walking left to right, no idea, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna back out of here because I know I'm close to bedding. And all of a sudden I see horn, I see horn, I see horn. There was like some young bucks in there. There was that one big body 8 that I've been after. And hopefully I got some of it. I grabbed my phone at one point because my exposure blew out on my camera and I literally like lost all ability to like think of how to render my camera useful at all because everything that was going on. And then the one buck, my wind was, they all circled up, upwind, downwind of me, and they could smell them all like shaking up. It was crazy. I was down on my hands and knees in this high grass, and this buck bounds out, stops, and I thought for sure he'd blow, and looks, he's trying to look, trying to see, trying to look, trying to see, and he bounds out and then walks in the timber, and I'm like, I'm getting out of here. So mark that big scrape, mark the bedding, and yeah, now from the west, now I have a huge game plan. That intel I did not have. So the north and the west, those were areas, basically sectors of the farm that I hadn't really put much into. So like the north section I did, and the southeast section I did, but the northwest section I didn't. So I'm excited about that. So, whew, gotta take a deep breath. That was insane. That was awesome. That was so awesome. That was just madness. Like I just looked at one of the bucks that I got on camera, and I think both of them were just younger 8 points, but still, that was some of the coolest stuff in the field, boots on the ground that I might have ever had. I don't, you know, I know people hunt whitetail on the ground, but I am not used to being on the ground with whitetail with 20 yards and in scouting, which is pretty cool. I mean, that was awesome. That was so cool. It confirms everything we know. It confirms everything we thought. And man, that was so awesome, dude. Like that gave me a feeling of like a good hunt. That's when I was crouch walking back to the Kubota to get back there. That was awesome. So to recap everything, I went up, got the mobile set up from where I left it, took that down. Father-in-law texted me, check a ladder for the guys. So I made sure that ladder was good and secure. So I had to circle back to that. Then, like I said, ADD, I went back to where I saw a scrape on the other side of the road from where I was headed. That is leading into the swamp. And that swamp and timber change right there, they kind of run that back and forth. But I'm sure, right? I'm sure that they cut that to get to the top field. And I just wanted to see, hey, where and how, just for my own knowledge, I guess. Celebratory, by the way, second monster. So, you know, not for nothing, but just saying. And so I'm walking, and it's rub, and not little trees, and I'm pumped, right? So pull up Onyx, get an idea of how far away from the top field I am, and that's at least how some of the bucks are cutting that off, rather than taking any of the roads in. So boom, done. Good for me. My father-in-law probably already knows that, but I wanted to confirm it, boots on the ground. So good, yay, gold star. And so then I circle back, grab the Kubota, head up to the north, west side, go in, check bedding, and that's where that whole, I hope some of that footage came out. That's where that whole 6 deer encounter happened. And then as I'm circling back towards the keyhole, which is this food plot area that he put in of clover, really cool spot. Literally from the top down, satellite view, it looks like a keyhole. It's a pretty sweet spot from bedding to basically where they want to go. Do they want to go top field or bottom field for food? There's obviously big timber all the way through that. So that's obviously a money spot. I had a feeder there trying to get inventory in the summer months, and it did not produce anything. I mean, it had a really cool young double main bean buck that, if that thing makes it through, will be a freak. But besides that, I had one of the good 8s that I remember from last year, and then it just dried up. So I moved the feeder off of that. I moved a camera off of that. Wasn't really interested. And on my way through the keyhole today, I look down and I see a scrape the size of a bathtub, and it's fresh. It's 10 to 2, and I'm amped, like so amped. So I fly up to a camera that's not really producing anything, up in the Northeast, and repurpose that down there on that scrape. So what I'm hoping is directionally, where are they coming from? And I think I know. I think it's from behind where I put the camera facing the keyhole. And who is it? Because it's massive. So I am like stoked. That was, you know, and for a lot of people that don't know, last year was a big building year for me in the whitetail world. This year is monumental. I mean, what I've learned, getting my orientation on the farm, like I love like walking around and having Onyx up and looking up and be like, oh, I know where that stand is, or oh, I'm over here. It's just the way that everything works on that farm. I'm finding these rub loops that are there that intersect, and it's just been so beneficial for me. So I know everyone says like get out there and see the stuff, but honestly there's no better way than doing it, because I'll be the first one to tell you, I have 10-12 cameras out there, I think 10, and that is only telling half the story. So I love the story that's telling, and it amps me up and it motivates me to get out there and find more stuff. But boots on the ground, that's it. It's the only way. And even then, it's just starting. We're just laying the chess pieces out, because I know what's going to happen. It's the same thing when I set my mobile setup last hunt. Is you're in the money, you're just not right in the right exact spot. So fine tuning and tweaking. But I'm trying to do my due diligence for the guys that are coming up, trying to give intel to my father-in-law, who's kind of like passed the reins on to me. So it's more time than I think every single time. And like I said, you know, having ADD tendencies doesn't help. But man, I love it. I wouldn't trade this stuff for the world. So hopefully this video is something that you guys dig, and maybe I can splice up some stuff and put it on Instagram too, and get you guys over to YouTube. But man, yeah, thanks for joining in. This was a killer day. I am so hyped for Wednesday, Thursday, and the rest of the week when I'm off work and stuff. So thanks again, guys, and until the next one.